Mom, 25,000, is this for real?
I won some money playing the lotto, and I split it up. Do whatever you want. Have fun.
Imagine winning millions in the lottery overnight. Two thrilled winners grab their checks, slam the office door shut, and vanish, leaving jobs, homes, and even families behind. What wild choices follow? Buckle up for a jaw-dropping tale of instant riches and shocking regrets. Number 15. Waitress wins $10 million lottery, and complete chaos unfolds. Imagine flipping a greasy lottery ticket from a breakfast tip into $10 million. Sounds perfect. For Waffle House waitress Tonda Dickerson in 1999, it was the start of a nightmare that nearly destroyed her. It began on a quiet March morning in Grand Bay, Alabama. Regular customer Edward Seward slid Tonda a Florida lottery ticket as his tip, like he always did. She pocketed it and kept serving hash browns. Days later, on Saturday, she checked it. Jackpot, $10 million. Thrilled, she chose yearly payouts over 30 years, dreaming of freedom from late-night shifts. But the win cracked her world open. Her co-workers claimed they had all made a pact to split any big prize from Seward's tickets. Tonda said no way. It was just casual talk. Furious, they sued her, turning coffee break buddies into courtroom enemies. Even Seward jumped in, whining that she owed him a truck. A judge tossed the cases, but the real horror was just beginning. That same week, her ex-husband Stacy Martin ambushed her outside the Waffle House. He jumped into her car, gun to her head, demanding cash. "I will kill you," he snarled, speeding toward a deserted Mississippi boat launch. Tonda's heart pounded as she begged for her life. Then her phone rang, relentless, piercing the silence. "Let me answer," she pleaded. He refused. It rang again. In a flash of terror, Tonda did not grab the phone. Her hand dove into her purse, fingers closing on her .22 caliber handgun. She spun and fired. The bullet hit Stacy's chest. He gasped, lunged, and wrestled the gun away. Bleeding out, he raged, but Tonda stayed cool. "I will drive you to the hospital," she said. He agreed, fading fast. Cops met them there. Tonda spilled it all. The kidnapping, threats, desperate shot, self-defense. No charges. Stacy survived, but the nightmare rolled on. Tonda tried shielding her cash by forming a corporation and gifting shares to family, and it also proved a big mistake. The IRS hit her with a $1 million tax bomb on those gifts. The fortune she had guarded from friends, exes, and courts. Uncle Sam took a huge bite. Tonda's saga proves lottery dreams can turn deadly. Winners often lose it all. Friends, family, even their lives. Her fortune was not the worst, but it shows that sudden riches test everyone, and not everyone survives. Number 14. Andrew Jackson Whitaker's Wild Fortune Plunge. It is 2002, and Andrew Jackson Whitaker Jr., a tough building contractor from West Virginia, scratches off a golden Powerball ticket. Boom, he wins a jaw-dropping $114 million after taxes. Dreams of easy riches explode into reality. But hold on, what if this jackpot was a curse in disguise? Just a year later, in 2003, thieves smashed into his car and snatched $545,000 he had foolishly stuffed in a suitcase. Heart-pounding, Andrew vows to be smarter, yet bad luck strikes again. Another $200,000 vanishes into thin air by 2004. Casinos smell blood. Caesars in Atlantic City hauls him to court over $1.5 million in bounced checks. 4 frantic years fly by, and poof, his entire fortune is wiped out. From king of the hill to broke on the street. What a wild, warning-filled ride. Number 13. Spend, spend, spend. Vivian's whirlwind fortune. It is 1961 in gritty post-war Britain. Vivian Nicholson, a tough mill worker from a nowhere town, hears the unbelievable news. Her husband Keith has just hit the jackpot, £152,300 from the football pools. That is millions in today's money. Their dingy life flips upside down in a heartbeat. Vivian bursts into the spotlight, eyes wild with joy. Cameras flash as she shouts to the world, "Spend, spend, spend," and she means it. No holding back. They zoom off in sleek red sports cars that roar like lions. They buy a mansion dripping with luxury. Fur coats, diamonds, parties that never end. Champagne flows like water. Friends flock like vultures. Vivian dances through the nights, living every dream she had whispered in the dark. But shadows creep in. Keith's heart gives out in 1965, gone too soon at just 37. Vivian is alone now, queen of her castle. Then the taxman knocks with a monster bill that swallows their fortune whole. Bankruptcy hits like a freight train. The shiny cars rust, the mansion empties, and the party crashes. Broken and lost, Vivian spirals. Depression wraps her like chains. Alcohol becomes her only friend. She fights, falls, fights again through courtrooms, headlines, and lonely nights. The world watches her flame flicker out. On April 14, 2011, at 75, Vivian slips away quietly in a care home. Her legend is etched in tabloids forever. What a rush. What a warning. Fortune smiled wide, but gusto burned it all down. Number 12. Hidden lottery. Jackpot costs woman her entire fortune. Imagine striking gold with $1 million lottery ticket, then watching it all vanish into your ex-husband's hands because of one sneaky secret. That is exactly what happened to Denise Rossi, and it serves as a chilling warning for anyone dreaming of a jackpot while married. In 1996, Denise from California hit the lottery big, $1 million, about 1.3 million pounds. Pure joy exploded through her. But instead of celebrating with her husband of 25 years, Thomas, she buried the secret deep. No hugs, no high fives, just silence. Less than 2 weeks later, she filed for divorce, bolting like she had planned it forever. Years passed. Thomas, now 65 and totally in the dark, stumbled on a dusty letter in their old files. It was from a payout company bragging, "We have helped hundreds of winners like you cash in your future payments for a lump sum." Boom, proof of her hidden fortune. Betrayed and furious, he stormed to court. The courtroom drama unfolded like a thriller. Denise admitted she had mailed the winning check straight to her mom's house, dodging Thomas completely. Why the rushed divorce? "It was my perfect escape," she confessed. "I had wanted out for years." Thomas told People magazine he was gutted. "She rushed me out of the house so fast. It was not like her at all. I was blindsided." The judge dropped the hammer. Denise had to hand over every penny, 20 yearly payments of $66,800 each, her entire jackpot, straight to Thomas. One hidden win, one diabolical twist, and poof, her dream fortune was gone forever. Number 11. Evelyn Adams. From Jackpot Queen to Trailer Park Blues. Imagine holding a check for millions, not once but twice. That is exactly what happened to Evelyn Adams in the mid-1980s. In 1985, she won a massive New Jersey lottery prize. Then, just 1 year later in 1986, she hit the jackpot again. She became the first person in the state to win 2 huge prizes, collecting more than $5.4 million in total. The crowd cheered, cameras flashed, and Evelyn's world exploded with promise. At first, it felt like pure magic. She paid off every bill, drove a shiny new car, and dreamed big. Friends and family marveled as she spent money like confetti. But here is where the fairy tale cracked. That fortune, meant to build a castle, turned into quicksand. Evelyn could not stop. She poured money into more lottery tickets, chasing that high. Atlantic City casinos called her name, and nights blurred into losses. She handed out thick wads to loved ones, made wild bets, and watched the pile shrink. One bad roll led to another. The millions vanished like smoke, gambled away, gifted, and gone. Today, Evelyn lives in a quiet trailer park, a shadow of her jackpot glory. She looks back with a wry smile and says, "I learned the hard way. Having it all does not silence the headaches. It just makes them scream louder." What a wild ride from riches to reality, and a reminder that luck alone does not buy happiness. Number 10. Randy Rush. Riches reveal true colors. In 2015, Randy Rush, an ordinary guy from Alberta, Canada, hit the jackpot. He won $37 million in the lottery. Dreams do come true. Randy thought so too. He quit his job immediately and began pouring his winnings into investments, excited for a fresh start. But money has a funny way of revealing hidden truths. Friends and family who had been close suddenly turned into strangers with outstretched hands. People kept asking for handouts, and Randy could not escape the pressure. He even packed up and left Alberta, hoping distance would help, but it did not. His own mother made the biggest demand. She wanted half his winnings. When Randy said no, she cut him off completely. It broke his heart at first, but he eventually healed from that wound. The real knife in the back came from his best friend from school days. The friend's son pitched a sure thing, an investment in a hot new company that would be the next Facebook. Randy saw it as a win-win, help a buddy and grow his fortune. He poured in 4.6 million Canadian dollars. Big mistake. The company was built on lies. His so-called best friend stole every penny and blew it on luxury cars and a fancy oceanfront home in California. Randy was furious. He sued in Alberta and Arizona, fought hard, and finally won back his money. These days, Randy is wiser and writing a book to warn others. The lottery changed my life for the better, he says, but only because I was ready for it. It ripped open every crack in my relationships and showed people's true colors. Sudden riches can burst them wide apart. Number 9. Lisa Arcand. From lottery millionaire to broke in 4 years. Lisa Arcand, a hardworking single mother scraping by in Lawrence, Massachusetts, bought a lottery ticket on a whim in 2004. Days later, her life exploded into a dream. She hit the jackpot, $1 million. Heart pounding with joy, Lisa dove in head first. She threw an epic party for friends and family, where bottles of $200 wine flowed like water. Her son went straight into a fancy private school costing $10,000 a year. She took jet-set vacations and bought a shiny new house fully furnished. She lived the fantasy. But Lisa's big dream was owning a restaurant right in her hometown. She poured her cash into it, picturing crowds lining up. But disaster struck. Money vanished faster than she could count. Bills piled up, and she had to slam the door shut. The lottery paid out just $35,000 a year, not a lump sum. Lisa cashed in early with a finance firm for $200,000 up front, but they skimmed $15,000 yearly. Taxes skyrocketed, eating her fortune alive. By 2007, it was gone. All of it. Very depressing. Lisa sighed. 1 ticket to millions, 4 years to break. A warning whispered to every winner. Riches can vanish like smoke. Number 8. Suzanne Mullins. Suzanne Mullins, a regular mom from Virginia, stepped into her local 7-Eleven in 1993 and bought a lottery ticket. Little did she know it would change everything for better and worse. Her daughter heard the radio buzz that the winning ticket came from that very Southwest Roanoke store. Suzanne checked her ticket and lost it. She screamed, "My God, I won!" Her daughter thought she was in trouble. Suzanne hit the $4.3 million jackpot. Smartly, she skipped the lump sum and chose annual payments of $47,000 after taxes for 20 years. She split it with her husband Tommy and daughter. They avoided wild spending, and Tommy kept his job. They even paid $1 million in medical bills for her uninsured son-in-law. At first, life felt secure, but cracks appeared. Suzanne took a $200,000 loan in 2006, using her future winnings as collateral. She wanted cash sooner and regretted the installments. Then, in 2000, rules changed, and winners could grab the full lump sum. She did, but she stopped loan payments. The loan company sued. In 2004, they won a $154,000 judgment. Suzanne had no assets left. Her lawyer called it a hard road. Her son-in-law had died that year, leaving huge medical debts. "Winnings aren't security," he said. "They often bring more problems." From riches to debts, Suzanne's dream turned into a nightmare. Number 7. Lara and Roger Griffiths. In Britain, Lara and Roger Griffiths hit the jackpot of a lifetime, enough to turn their ordinary lives into a fairy tale. They dreamed big with exotic cars gleaming in the driveway, a lavish house dripping with luxury, racks of designer clothes, flashy accessories, and even a spot in an elite private school for their little girl. Life felt like paradise, but Roger had stars in his eyes. He ditched stability to chase rock stardom and poured a fortune into his band's shiny new album. Gigs, recordings, and tours made money vanish like smoke. Lara, meanwhile, fell hard for the high life and splurged without a second thought. Then came the big gamble. They sank hundreds of thousands of pounds into launching a glamorous salon, picturing endless riches. The dream turned to dust. The business flopped, and Lara ended up sweeping floors there just to scrape by as an employee. Less than a decade later, their marriage shattered in divorce. The fairy tale was gone. All that jackpot gold was wasted. They were left with less than 10 pounds between them, broke, broken, and staring at the wreckage of what could have been. Number 6. David Lee Edwards, a lottery cautionary tale. Imagine the electric buzz of a Kentucky gas station in 2001. David Lee Edwards, an ordinary guy scraping by, scratches off a lottery ticket and stares in disbelief. $27 million jackpot. His life flips in an instant as dreams of luxury explode like fireworks. He quits his dead-end job, marries his sweetheart, and they dive headfirst into a fantasy world of excess. First came the toys, dozens of shiny high-end cars revving down the highway, sprawling mansions with pools and marble floors, even a private plane slicing through the clouds. no expense spared. In the first 3 months alone, they burned $3 million like it was pocket change. By the end of year one, $12 million had vanished into parties, bling, and endless splurges, the classic traps that swallow lottery dreams whole. But the high faded fast. Money fueled bad habits, pulling them into a dark spiral of drug addiction. Debts piled up like storm clouds, mansions foreclosed, cars repossessed, planes grounded. 5 years in, they were broke, hiding in a dingy storage shed, scraping for survival. The clock ticked mercilessly. Just 12 years after that golden ticket changed everything, David lay alone in hospice care, penniless, ravaged by addiction, his body giving out at 58. From jackpot king to forgotten shadow, his story screams a brutal warning. Fortune can vanish faster than it comes. Number 5. Mickey Carroll. In Britain, a young man named Mickey Carroll won the lottery at 19 years old. He claimed the equivalent of $11.8 million, a sum that would make anyone dream big. But instead of investing wisely for the future, Mickey earned the tabloid nickname Lotto Lout. He partied wildly with drugs and blew his fortune on flashy jewelry, luxury cars, and endless extravagances. The money disappeared as quickly as it had arrived, leaving him penniless and destitute. Years later, in 2016, his life had completely changed. Now humbled, Mickey scraped by on a few $100s a week while working at a gritty slaughterhouse, cutting meat for a living after squandering his windfall. Then, in 2021, hope returned. He remarried his ex-wife, the same woman who had left him during his days of wild infidelity with prostitutes. It was a second chance at love amid the wreckage of his lottery dreams. Number 4. From lottery jackpot to rock bottom, Callie Rogers' cautionary tale. Imagine winning $2.3 million at just 16 years old. Your wildest dreams handed to you on a silver platter. That is exactly what happened to Callie Rogers, Britain's youngest lottery jackpot winner back in 2003. But for this wide-eyed teen, fortune was not a fairy tale. It was a fast-burning fuse. Parties exploded into non-stop chaos. She blew $300,000 on alone, fueling nights that blurred into days. Fancy clothes, wild gifts, and endless plastic surgery followed. All of it torched the cash like wildfire. A decade later, in 2013, her bank account held a pitiful $2,500. The nightmare peaked when cops chased her speeding 4x4 through the streets. She was high as a kite and crashed hard, landing a driving ban. Fast forward to 2021. At 33, penniless Callie scraped by on government handouts 18 years after her lucky strike. One spin of fate, and it all spiraled into heartbreak. Number 3. Willie Seeley. From lottery dream to gilded nightmare. You're sipping coffee in your quiet kitchen, dreaming of a simple life with no bills breathing down your neck. That's exactly where Willie Seeley and his wife were, happy in their humble routine until one fateful night in 2013 shattered it all. Willie, a regular guy with a steady job, tossed his lottery ticket into an office pool with 15 co-workers. He had no big expectations. It was just for fun. Then the numbers flashed on television. A jaw-dropping $450 million jackpot. Willie was one of 3 winners. Hearts raced, hugs flew, but the win had to split 3 ways, then divide again among the pool. After Uncle Sam took his cut, Willie pocketed just under $4 million. Freedom hit like a thunderbolt. He quit his job that week. He bought a boat, a shiny new truck, and maybe a dream vacation home. Life lightened up, with no more scraping by. But here's the hook that turned paradise into a nightmare. The money felt like a curse. Suddenly, the phone would not stop ringing. Estranged relatives, cousins he had not seen in decades, and aunts from the shadows crawled out begging for cash. "Just a loan, Willie. Help me out, family first." His mailbox overflowed with sob stories. And the press? Vultures circling, reporters camped on his lawn, flashing cameras and demanding secrets. Privacy vanished. Friends turned strange. Every knock at the door felt like a trap. Willie and his wife whispered in the dim light, "We were happier broke." The wind that promised wings clipped them instead, trapping them in a gilded cage of endless demands. What would you do with a fortune that steals your peace? Number 2. Alex and Rhonda Toth. From lottery windfall to deadly betrayal. Imagine scraping by, barely able to scrape together $200 for a car you desperately need. Alex Toth was on disability, while his wife Rhonda pulled double shifts as a nursing assistant. One desperate day in 1990, with just $24 left in the bank, Alex bought a lottery ticket on a whim. What happened next? A jaw-dropping $13 million jackpot that flipped their world upside down. Suddenly, money rained down like a dream, but nightmares followed fast. Their estranged kids, long out of touch, came crawling back with hands outstretched, begging for cash. The Toths cut them off cold. Furious, one son allegedly plotted their murder, turning family ties into a deadly trap. They survived the hit, hearts pounding. But the hammer fell harder. A grand jury indicted them for tax fraud. They owed $2 million in back taxes and stared down 24 years in prison. Before Alex could face the bars, his health crumbled. At just 60, he was gone. Proof that sudden riches can curse as much as they bless. Number 1. William Post III's nightmare. Imagine hitting the jackpot with $16 million in your pocket overnight. Dreams come true. For William Post III, that 1988 lottery win turned into a nightmare faster than you can say instant millionaire. At first, the cash burned a hole in his wallet. Wild investments bombed. Crazy splurges piled up. Just 3 months later, William was not rich. He was broke and drowning in $500,000 of debt. Rock bottom? Not even close. Then came the real horror. His own brother hired a hitman to take him out. William survived that betrayal, but trouble stalked him. In a fit of rage, he fired a gun at a bill collector and landed in jail. Life never let up. In 2006, at just 66, William gasped his last breath from respiratory failure. The lottery did not build his fortune. It buried him.